Normally with Celtic knot work, you'll find that if you follow a particular stretch of knot, it either ends in like the feathers of an animal or the head of an animal, or sometimes it will end with a flower, but more often than not, it's just a continuous loop. And as you go, there's a consistent over under that like never breaks, which is actually really difficult to do mathematically. Like, I tried one time when I was in high school to figure out some of the math behind building Celtic knots and like quickly got into knot theory, which is really advanced mathematics, at least compared to the algebra and calc that I was doing. But I found this section here that I don't know if the artist was being lazy. It sounds bad to say lazy about anything this complex, but it just like randomly this little bit of tiny string of knot will just end. It will just stop. It will just like go behind some bigger bit of knot and then just disappear. And I can't follow the trail. It's driving me bonkers. But maybe it will be a little bit faster to complete this whole section here since I don't have to be as careful about where each little trail of knot goes. Here's proof about what I said about Celtic knotwork in high school. I have things like questions. Can you predict whether your grid will give a true knot? Can you predict the number of strands? What about irregular shapes? And I have this whole system that I use when I'm building knots of my own with like a grid system with like a primary and secondary dots. These I think featured in a really old YouTube video that I did. There's just like lots of planning how things work when you're breaking your grid with walls, just like some decorative elements. And then somewhere in here we go. Here's where I start getting into the math. And I was that crazy person who put Post-its all over my bedroom walls. It's just like, I couldn't figure anything out. I came up with no answers. I started doing like other shapes than rectangles. And then you can see here, I really start getting into like a different way of creating knots and seeing if I could get any better figuring from that. And eventually I just gave up. I'm surprised I still have this notebook.